And welcome back to Big League Dreaming, the podcast, a show about fulfilling your dreams and taking it to the next level. I'm John Gonzalez, and if you're the first time listener, this show is pretty simple. It's a dad and his three sons talking about the game they love so much, baseball. Let's first introduce the kids that are with the kids, the adults, my sons that are on the show today. We have two of the three. Let's introduce them, and I should first of all say today's episode brought to you by Johnny Ford Sports Card and Memorabilia. I'll tell you more about that a little later while we're mentioning Johnny Ford. Good guy, by the way. I don't know if did I meet Johnny Ford? No, I didn't meet him, but I'll tell you more about that later. First, let's introduce our guest, or our co-host, I should say. Start with son number one, Zach Gonzalez. He is based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Zach is the Mariners fan on the podcast. Zach, how you doing?
Yes, doing great. Mariners got a Jorge Polanco on a trade just the other day, so excited to finally have a second baseman, and I'm honestly just ready to see some baseball and get it going.
I have never paid attention to preseason baseball as much as I have for 2024. Polanco is a good pickup for the Mariners. Let's hope he stays healthy. Don't mean to jinx it, Zach, all year long. Let's go on to son number two. He is the Red Sox fan. It is Ty Gonzalez, based here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Ty, how you doing?
Red Sox. Come on. I know
Red
my I,
Sox.
I know
Oh,
my
did I say
Mets
Red Sox?
I know my Mets had a bad season, but I'm not jumping ship yet.
Mets fan, yes, he is the Mets fan on this show. And where's your Mets? You have the Mets logo usually on
I
your
know
backdrop.
I know I had the Mets hat on last week, but representing
Our on your shirt and
the
oh,
Whitecaps today.
Whitecaps. Yes. Las Calaveras
Yes.
de Copa de Baseball. I'm so like Zach said, Ty, are you excited about the new start of the season coming up?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I mean, Zach, you remember here in Michigan when you start getting that slushy snow and it's all dirty looking. I told my wife the other day, I said, "Yep, baseball's right around the corner. I like the looks of that."
Well, son number three can't be with us today because I think they were going to practice outside today. Their son number three is Zane Gonzalez. He is the Red Sox fan. He's also the associate head coach at Indiana University at South Bend, where he covers pitching and recruiting for them. And they're getting ready to hit the road and get their season started pretty soon here. So, Zach, you'll love this about me. I actually spent some time looking at schedules for college baseball. Opening day, February 16th for the D1.
Yep, just a couple weekends away. I was looking at Virginia Tech comes to Charlotte, so if it's a nice day, I might hop over to UNC Charlotte and see an ACC team come down the road. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the weather's like. February in Carolina. Sometimes it's really nice. Sometimes it can be a little sketchy.
Well, in Michigan, it's always sketchy. So you never know what you're going to get. All the snow's melting right now. So we'll see what happens in a week from now. But if this is your first time listening to the show, we get together, we talk about baseball. Sometimes it might be talking about high school baseball, college baseball, professional baseball. We might talk to an agent. The last show was a lot of fun, right, guys?
Yeah, Blaze was awesome talking to an agent who played for the Whitecaps, played for Michigan State, and is representing Max Clark right now. So that was a lot of fun.
And then Zach, we've had on little league coaches. Um, we've had on so many different people.
I know. I feel like we're pretty well rounded with our guests. We've had players, we've had scouts, college coaches, people in minor league baseball, GMs, things like that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been a lot of fun ever since we started it up a few years ago. So I'm glad we still got it rolling.
Season four, as Ty reminds me, season four. I can't believe it's been that long. Well, I'll tell you what, Ty, you're going to introduce our next guest because when you sent the text to us in our group text saying, "Hey, I got a guy for you," and I read the name and I was like, "Oh, I remember this guy. I remember this player." And I can't wait for you to tell us what made you think to bring him on the show and introduce him. Ty, take it away.
Oh man, I'm so excited to welcome today's guest. He is a good friend of mine. We played college ball together for a couple years. And this guy we have on the show, everyone stick around for this. This is going to be a great episode. You want to talk about passion, you want to talk about dreams. This is the guy that fits our podcast perfectly. Good friend of mine, David Sokolowski. Welcome, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Good to see you guys. Like I said, it's been too many years. It's been too long since we've talked, and I remember the good old days of being down in Panama City Beach and old Dad Gonzalez interviewing us at the hotel lobby down there, getting ready for the preseason show for the Cougars.
Oh
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
you remember that one game? I think we all listened back to the broadcast about 18 different times that night of my dad saying I think someone was up to bat and they smoked a line drive at our coach, and you just hear, "Oh, Coach Valier's down," and then it's just silent.
I do remember that, and I remember you speaking of balls hit at Coach Valier. We had that like 32-degree snow game at Trine University. We got off the bus; it was snowing, and Coach Pachaki tells us instead of a doubleheader, we're going to play 1-9. Coach Valier tries to barehand a foul ball, chop down the third baseline, and broke one of his fingers.
Oh
And he was
yeah,
probably, I mean, he was at the last year of his career at the time. We're like, man, Coach, you almost got out in time.
yeah. He was a good coach. He was fun to play for.
Oh, the best. I actually I try to talk to him a couple times a year. He one of the most influential guys of my career, both as a player and now as a coach. A guy that I really took a lot from. So I have a special place in my heart for him for sure.
Well, on today's episode, we definitely want to cover, David, your journey to how you got to be coaching today at Buchanan High School in southwestern Michigan. Not too far from Zane, actually. You're just down the road or up the road from South Bend there in Buchanan. So you're closer to him than the two of us. But we're excited to hear your
Yeah.
journey and excited to hear how you got there and how you got to coach. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about your playing days at Buchanan and how you went to KVCC?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I'll spare all the details because obviously we're probably limited on time. But yeah, 4-year career at Buchanan. Went to Buchanan my whole life. Played for a couple different coaches while I was in school. Part of a couple 20-win teams my junior and senior year. Received several postseason honors both of those seasons. And then again, kind of cutting a long story short, had some family stuff happen. Decided to go the JUCO route. Kalamazoo was only an hour away from home. Coach Valier told me, from the get go, he said, I'm going to give you a chance to earn scholarship your first year. Best laid plans didn't go to plan. I had a broken wrist in 2010 when I graduated. That summer, I broke it in Legion ball sliding into home plate. I did not go head first. For those of you that are thinking that I broke that rule, I tried a hook slide, and the catcher took a knee on the throw and kneeled right into me as I was sliding, and my wrist rolled right into his shin guards. But Coach Valier let me hang around. Came back the next year and got to play with Gons and a bunch of other great guys. Part of a school record 40-15 Kalamazoo Valley team. I just want to point out, shout out to the Cougars there. What was that, the
Yeah.
2012? Was that the spring 2012 team?
Yep, that was spring 2012.
That's right. I still have the ball. It's in my my trophy case in my office. That's a pretty cool item. Coach Valero gave us a ball with the 20 or the 40-15 record on it. But I mean, how often do you hear 55 games getting played in Michigan anymore? But yeah, and then from there, I ended up transferring to Purdue University North Central, which is now Purdue Northwest. They unified after my last season there with Purdue Calumet. So they're actually a Division II, I believe now. They're in the GLIAC with Grand Valley State and all those schools. But that was a really cool experience. It wasn't necessarily my first choice, as Tyler knows. I had a pretty major knee injury when I was at Kalamazoo Valley, and it kind of derailed what I really wanted to do as far as where I wanted to go next. But everything happens for a reason, as you guys know. Around that time, sad part of the story, precursor. My dad got sick. I ended up coming home and working and helping out with everything we had going on. And a buddy of mine at River Valley High School in Three Oaks, Michigan, down here, not too far from me, shoots me a text and says, "Hey, buddy, I'm going to resign the varsity position. would you be interested in applying? We had a brand new athletic director at the time named Jim Wisely. He's actually the superintendent of Gobles High School in Gobles, Michigan now. And he took a chance on a 24-year-old kid with no high school coaching experience, just a bunch of passion for baseball and a good playing career. I coached there for 5 years, including the COVID year. Led them to a preseason #1 ranking my final 2 seasons there. Never did get the ring, but had a pretty nice build up there. Stepped away for a year, transitioned into my teaching career because I'm an elementary teacher now, and got married to my beautiful wife Kaylee, and we bought our home that year. So a lot went on. I didn't waste my year off, and then again, as fate has it, Jim Brawley, who's at Niles, Michigan now, Niles High School, contacts me and says, "Hey, Dave, I'm going to retire at the end of the season. The Buchanan job's going to be open next year." Well, they ended up winning the state title. And so he went out on a high note, and I came in as the favored applicant. And here I am heading into now my 2nd season at Buchanan, my 7th year overall. And I am truly living my baseball dream, coming back to my alma mater. So, yeah, it's been a wild ride, boys.
I want to follow up on that because I know that after your playing days were over at Kalamazoo Valley, you opted not to go to a 4-year school, and you ended up coaching, I think, freshman or JV baseball at Comstock Park here, where you played, and that was rough being a young person trying to coach high school kids, right?
Yeah, it was challenging. I mean, the hardest part for me, and I don't know if this was the same for you, Soko, was that transition from player to coach. It was really pretty tough for me to sometimes take a step back and be like, okay, I can't talk to these kids how I want to talk if I was a player. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. And I think the biggest thing, man, was um, the same guy that hired me, Jim Wisely. He told me the #1 rule of coaching: you can't want it more than they do. And that is the hardest part because the competitive nature doesn't die. The will to win never fades. And you just try to implement that into what you're doing.
I guess, was this kind of always in the back of your mind of coaching? Was coaching always something that you wanted to get into, that you were interested in? Because sometimes it kind of just falls in people's lap. I'm sure the CP guys reached out to Ty and was like, "Hey, we need you to coach the freshman JV team. Practices next week. You better be there." And then other people are like, "Well, as I'm a player, I need to be picking the coach's brain because this is what I want to do." How did it play out in your mind, I guess?
Yeah, man. So it was a little bit of both, honestly. As Ty knows, I'm a lot like him. We were both kind of students of the game as players. You're always looking for the competitive advantage. You're looking for the new thing that you can improve on. What's the new style in the game? We've watched this game evolve so much over the years, and I'm sure you guys have had endless conversations about that. And I have my parents to thank for my love for coaching because I got into it very young, coaching with my mom and dad, coaching my younger brother and things like basketball and baseball. And I always liked giving back. And I think when I got into college, I always had it in the back of my mind that when it was time to hang my spikes up, I wanted to get on the other side of the line, and I wanted to really give kids the opportunity that I had or didn't have even growing up. I mean, I remember those days of Little League where I didn't know who the high school coach was. I went to games, I watched my older brother and stuff like that, but it wasn't the same. And now here I am. I do Sunday, workout clinics every week for an hour with kids from 8th grade down to T-ball, and they love it. And it's giving me an opportunity to not only build my pipeline, but but give them a chance to love the game. So it was a bit of both, Zach. I mean, honestly, that's a good question.
I was just gonna say, I think that's why me and you connected and got along so well. Is we both kind of came from that passion and that drive and that grind mentality. I mean, we were both kind of in the same situation at Valley, fighting for a spot. What's something you tell maybe some of your players or maybe some of your players that move on to college, if they get into that like fighting for a spot um position that me and you are in, like what's something you tell them to keep pushing forward?
I mean, yeah, man, Gons, that's a that's such a loaded question, but it's a good one. Not to be a cliche at all, but it's like what the name of your guys' podcast, man. You keep dreaming. You went there for a reason. You had a dream in mind. Uh, Remember that when you go, and this was my thing, and you know this too, Gons, because you and I talked about it 100 times. Coming out of high school, you're the guy. You're one of the guys. With me coming from Buchanan, I mean, it was me, it was Coonsey, it was Dalton Shearer and Cash and Nate and those guys that we played with. When you get to a college, and it doesn't matter what level you're at, like it's like I've seen that meme 100 times on the internet. If you make it to JUCO, if you make it to NAIA Division 3, D2, D1, you're somebody. And not to drop too many names, but when you get on campus at Kalamazoo Valley, coming from Little Buchanan, and you're running into guys like Jimmy Jackson and Drew Schutz and Jake Davis and Ty Gonzalez, Trevor Hicks, these dudes from all over the state who have every ounce of talent that you do, it's a grind, man. And there were days where I was calling home to dad and mom and being like, hey, I don't know what I got myself into. And they just reminded me of one thing, and that was the same reason that we're all sitting here tonight is I love this game. I'm never going to give up on it, and it's never given up on me. It's given me everything that I've put into it and more. And I'm sure it'll pay dividends until the day I'm gone because I'm always going to find a way to love it, whether it's watching it from afar, going to a ballpark and feeling that little kid energy that we all do when we step into a big league ballpark. Um, that's what I tell my guys. Be prepared for the challenge, but remember why you're there.
Well, Zach, I'm sure that you can relate to a lot of it. You didn't coach high school kids, although you have coached high school kids before, I should say. Um, but after your playing days were over, you still coached at at the club level in college, and you kept at it for a while. So, what is it about coaching, Zach? Do you think that is in you and David has it as well?
Yeah, I think it just comes so naturally to certain people. And you just kind of find yourself in those positions without even trying to really make something happen. I don't know what it is, but those baseball-minded people that love giving back and helping others, you just kind of fall into those situations where, okay, now I'm on this staff helping out these guys. Um, and that's kind of like what happened with my relationships when I was the pitching coach at Calvin College and then um, doing the club ball stuff down at Coastal Carolina. It's really relationships and meeting good people and having good connections and things like that. And when it's something that you love the game so much, it just almost becomes a part of you. And it's just what you think about every day and what you're into. So it's pretty cool. Um, and and Soko, I love that you're a JUCO guy. I'm a JUCO guy myself. I played at
JUCO
Jackson.
Bandits for life, man.
Yep. I do have 2 wins and a save under my belt against Kalamazoo Valley. I like to remind Ty about that.
Oh man,
Um,
you're a Jet.
yep, yep.
Oh man, we
Yep.
had some battles with those guys.
I'm sure like you're a huge advocate for junior college baseball and the game and things like that. When you're helping your players, I know you've only been a high school head coach for a handful of years, but I'm sure you've come into situations where you're trying to help get kids placed that want to play at the college level. What are some of those conversations you've been having with your players about junior college baseball, going that route? And really that whole junior college league in Michigan and how good it is.
Yeah, I push it strong. I mean, like you, like Ty, I am an advocate for JUCO baseball. I don't think there's any need to go out and throw out the hundreds of success stories that have come from junior college ball. Um, for a lot of families, especially from a place like where I'm from, rural Southwest Michigan, money is an issue. Take the affordable route. Get your general education classes out of the way. Save money. Decide, and this is a big thing too. Decide if college is for you. I tell that to my high school players too, and I'm not trying to downplay college. Go for it, get an education. It's not for everyone. I'm extremely proud to say that all the guys that have played for me have graduated and they've either gone into the military, the trades, or to college. Those are all perfectly good routes. But going back to your original question with JUCO and the strong conference and the league that we have in Michigan, um, I mean, I just share the stories, man. I do. I mean, when you're going up against the Kellogg community colleges and the Grand Rapids community colleges who have guys pumping 90, 92, that's plenty. And then it gets even better when you go south for spring training and you're playing Gulf Coast Community College and they've got Auburn transfers and LSU transfers who are unlike anything you've seen from Southwest Michigan. Brian Coons can attest to that, Gons. I'm pretty sure that ball hasn't landed yet. But sorry, Brian, I love you. I love you. But if you remember, Gons, I was in left. The guy was a lefty. Tyler Dial was his name. I always remember little guy, Auburn transfer. Hits a ball left center. And when I took off, I was going towards center field. That ball cut back so hard in that thick Florida wind, it landed behind me. And the center fielder was looking at me like, where are you going? But yeah, dude, the JUCO route, Zach, it's a great way to go. There's nothing wrong with it. Got too many guys downplay it. It's a stigma. It's wrong. Um, it's a great way to get started. It's a great way to enjoy the game for a couple more years.
I think everyone was saying, "Where the heck is he going?" That was Apo
Dude,
Taco. That was a bomb.
Man, it was a bomb.
Ty, do you have more memories about playing with David?
Oh man, we have a ton of great memories. I mean, the ones that I really remember the most though are just like I said earlier, our work ethic together. Like there was a handful of us that really just wanted to take our game to the next level, and we were doing everything possible. Like another guy, James, a good friend of ours, was the same way. We just really had that passion for baseball, but also just getting better at the game. And I think those are the memories that I remember the most with Soko, is just us working so hard on fighting for that spot and just getting better.
So if you're just tuning in right now, you're listening to Big League Dreamers, the podcast, a show about fulfilling your dreams and taking it to the next level. It's a dad and his sons talking about the game they love so much. Our guest today is David Sokolowski. He is the head coach, the head varsity coach at Buchanan High School in southwestern Michigan. He's also a former teammate of my son Ty, who you just heard talking there for a second. Um, David, I gotta. I mean, I'm as you know me. We know each other personally, and we just haven't seen each other for a long time. You know how proud I am of all three of my boys, right? But you have to admit, I mean, I'm so proud of Ty, right? Because he came in there at first year at KVCC, fighting for just any kind of recognition at all, not getting a lot of playing time, and then he comes back and he's like the MVP his second year. I mean, did you watch him just blossom overnight?
Yeah, man. So I share Ty Gonzalez stories with my players regularly, and they don't know who he is. They're like, "Who's this guy?" Um, when you say ball player and you look it up in the dictionary, there's a picture of Ty Gonzalez there, a guy who can plug in at third, he can plug in at first, plug in at second, he can go pitch, he could throw the gear on if he had to. Kids don't understand what that's like. I preach versatility. The more things that you can do, the more valuable you are to your team and your coaches. Um, you know, I wasn't surprised when Ty got that team MVP because I saw a guy who did so many things for us that they weren't things that you read about in the stat sheet all the time. It was he challenged us in practice. He made us better in games. Um, when I talk to my pitchers, and Zach, I know you'll appreciate this as a pitching guy. My favorite thing that Ty does, and the MLB destroyed this. And Ty, you know what I'm going to say? I've never seen a guy wait out a base runner like Ty does. We did Inter Squad World Series our first year together at Valley, and I was playing defense, and Gons was pitching. He let up a base runner, and he was fuming because it was a borderline call. He was a control guy. He was dotting. He wasn't a velo guy. Let up a base runner, and I could tell from the outfield he was PO'd. And all of a sudden, he waited to pick this dude off. It must have been 5 minutes. I felt like he was never going to throw a pitch, and I'm out in the outfield going, what is he doing? All of a sudden, the base runner just got antsy, took one hard step to two, and Gons picks over and got him. And I was dying. I was laughing so hard. So I tell my high school kids, I said, you don't have a pitch clock. I was like, mix your looks, annoy the runner, and he will eventually give in. It's a battle of attrition, man. And I use Ty as that reference all the time. So yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to that student of the game, the fact that he never just did bullpens, he never settled for any one role. He was in the batting cage with us. He was doing PO drills, and he was doing stuff away from the field too. I mean, even the wiffle ball stuff, Gons. I mean, the wiffle ball stuff we did, that's hand-eye coordination stuff. I mean, that's quick hands. That trains you more than kids realize. Not enough kids are still playing backyard wiffle ball nowadays. But yeah, John,
trains you to be a disciplined hitter too.
100%. I still can't hit your little scuff ball curve thing. I can't replicate it either.
I love that story. I didn't know that story about the pickoff, but I think that's a good one. That's a good one to tell though, because you have to have that mentality, right? This show is about fulfilling your dreams and taking it to the next level. If you're not battling at an inter squad game among your buddies, why are you going to be battling against the conference champion just because it's a conference champion? You got to battle every single inning, every single at bat, every out, whether it's a practice, inter squad, or the real deal. Wouldn't you agree, David?
100%. 100%. I mean, and that's the type of guys you want alongside you too if you're on a team. You don't want the gamers. You don't want the guys who are there to fill their stat sheet or worry about their game film for the next school they're going to. Um, you love to have guys like Ty on your team. He mentioned James. That's another great one. Another great Southwest Michigan guy from Vicksburg. I mean, there's so many lists, man. We were so blessed to have a great team, especially that first year, man. I can't say enough about that first year team. I'm still lucky enough to be friends with a lot of them. I talk to Drew Schutz every single day. He's one of my best friends. He stood in my wedding. He came off an injury. You remember this, Gons? It was our second year?
Yeah.
And Pete Chalk lines us up on the left field line, and he says, whoever gets this ball first is in the starting lineup tomorrow for our exhibition game. It wasn't even a season game. It was a fall ball game. And Drew wasn't even medically cleared yet. Peacock hits a fungo to deep right, and Drew was the first guy to get that ball. And he was in the lineup the next day. Like, those are the guys you want.
Well,
That sounds like something Pete Jockey would do. That sounds like how he would make a lineup.
Absolutely.
David, did you know that Zach actually pitched for Pachaki?
Oh, really? For Kalamazoo?
When he had the Kalamazoo Cubs before the Growlers.
Before the Growlers, you pitched for him.
Yep.
Yeah. Peacock, man, what a guy. I mean, he's done some great things with the Kalamazoo Growlers. He was still kind of getting his feet wet, I think, with coaching when Gons and I played for him. He was still pretty young at the time, but he took over that second year when Coach Valier retired. But I would describe him as intense as far as his he's fun. He's fun to be around, and if you're one of his guys, he's a lot of fun. But when it's game time, he's very intense.
Well, I want to get back into high school for a real quick. The high school game that you're coaching now at Buchanan. You took over in 2023, right, for Jim Brawley. They're coming off of a state championship in Division III, and they hadn't won a state championship since like 1985, I think it was. So here you are, a first-year head coach there, your alma mater, and now you've got to replicate the success. I mean, what kind of pressure did you have, going into that season?
Yeah, so gosh, I didn't put a lot of pressure on myself, if I'm being honest, because I toe that fine line between optimism and realism. I knew what they had graduating from that team. I also knew what my expectations were going in, and I think we finished at like 9-21 last year. Not great on paper, but that was not indicative of the team we were. Um, we gave away a lot of games, just, free bases, mistakes, things like that. But yeah, I didn't place. A lot of people came up to me and said that same thing, John. It was like, you got big shoes to fill for Jimmy Brawley, and you got to repeat now and stuff like that. I'm like, that's not realistic, guys. Like, how many teams do you see in the state that aren't named Orchard Lake St. Mary's that can go back to back? It's not easy for anybody. And I only had, I think, a handful of seniors coming back. Of those guys, only one of them is now at the next level. My shortstop, Cade Pricing, plays for Kalamazoo College, Division III. He will have a very good chance to be their starting shortstop this year. But I mean, they graduated 7 guys off the state team, if I recall, and I believe 5 of them are playing at the next level. That's incredible. And I think one of the ones who isn't playing baseball at the next level is kicking at Albion College in football. So they were gamers. I mean, they were athletes. So I never really put that on myself, honestly. I took it in stride. I was just proud to be home, and I was ready to set in stone now a new era. I looked at it as a fresh slate, and where we go from here is a new chapter. It's not the Jim Brawley chapter. It's not about the 2023, the 2022 team. It's new, and I think moving forward, that's something that we're going to embrace.
So did you start your first practice with putting River Valley on the weight room schedule and just circle it and say, the clock is ticking or clock is on or whatever?
So we actually, oh man, I can't remember now.
Do you open with them this year?
We opened with them this year. Last year, I think they were maybe our second or third game on the schedule, and we did beat them. But it wasn't really like that. It was more of a proud moment. A lot of those boys that I coached against were boys that I had as younger guys, because as I mentioned, I took a year away. So some of my sophomores at the time were now seniors. So I walked over to the opposing dugout and I hugged them all and shook hands with the coach, and because he was an old Legion ball teammate of mine, a River Valley grad, Jason German. He's actually an assistant at Lake Michigan College now in the same JUCO conference. But it was special, and we're opening this year. They have a new coach. His name is Brian McCarty. He was part of one of their state championship teams at River Valley, I believe, in 1995. He's still in the state record books for hitting in the top 5 in multiple categories. So they're in good hands. They're just a much smaller school, so they battle numbers and enrollment, which is something, up by Grand Rapids. I'm sure you guys don't have to struggle with that much. But yeah, it's cool playing them. I don't ever forget that, where I got my start. My dad went there. He was a River Valley grad, so they always have a special place in my heart. In my office down the hall from the COVID year, the guy who did our team pictures, Kevin Harrington from Harrington Photography, shout out Kevin. He did the yard signs, like the political signs, and he did one that had all my seniors on it. And after the COVID year got canceled, I had them all sign it at graduation, and it's on my office wall. That's my first group that I had from freshman to senior. And they earned that #1 rank in the state for River Valley and put them back on the map. So, yeah, I mean, it's always special, man. It's cool to play them.
Specifically coaching high school baseball, what do you think is like one of your favorite things that typically goes unnoticed, like by parents, by players? These parents and people, they show up to watch the games, but they're not aware of all the prep work and all the stuff that goes behind the scenes. What are some things that like you love to knock out or check off your list?
It's gonna sound really corny. I love being the last guy at the field at night. Um, whether I'm on the tractor dragging the infield or walking through the dugouts and stuff like that. There's something calming about that. It's always been like my favorite thing. I can stand on the fence of a baseball field, and it's that field of dreams feeling. You know what I mean? For me, and again, this is kind of diving into that whole spiritual thing that we all have in common with our religion, is me not having my mom and dad and knowing how important the game was to both of them as college softball and baseball players, respectively, it's my moment to talk with them and reflect on where I came from. Uh, as far as the stuff that I really also enjoy incorporating the players is the same stuff that we got in JUCO, and that's those bus rides. The pregame ride up to the game. I'm driving the van or sitting in the back of the bus with the team, and we're talking, and you're having those pregame talks, or you're having those inside jokes that nobody else knows about, and building that camaraderie. Um, I love that. I love the relation. I'm a relationship guy. I'm very blessed to have strong relationships with past teammates and coaches and my own players that I've coached. Um, People don't get to see that, man. They really don't. We get to see it on TV, and we love watching guys like, Freddie Freeman and Anthony Rizzo face off in a rare occasion like we did a couple years ago. People don't know about that stuff until you see it on national television. Um, but it's special, man. It's what makes this game so great.
Since this podcast is about fulfilling your dreams and take it to the next level, you've already said a number of times you're living your dream right now, right? And if it all, I truly believe if it all ends tomorrow, you're happy, right? But still, you must have some thoughts of where you'd like to take this thing because listening to you, your maturity, your experience, I mean, you could coach at the collegiate level, you could coach at the professional level. I mean, where do you want to go with this? I mean, obviously you have a knack of getting a rapport with your players. You know the game. You have a passion for it. Where do you want to take this thing?
At risk of sounding content, I've had this conversation a lot with my wife, and she's always told me, "Well, what if you get an offer? What if a college calls you?" I don't know. I really don't because number one, I love teaching, and I love that I'm in Buchanan. Um, I really, really want to win a state championship. That's right up there. I can't lie about it. Um, I don't do it for me. I do it for my love for the game, but I do it for the kids. Um, at the same time, I would be lying if I didn't say getting into the Hall of Fame someday would be cool. Um, I'm 20, or I started at 24. I'll be 32 in May. Um, I believe, gosh, I'm trying to act like I don't keep count. I think I'm sitting on 79 career victories. So I'm rapidly coming up on 100. Um, there's only, I believe, two guys in Michigan history that have ever eclipsed 1,000. Um, but there's a guy from Berrien Springs who just retired a couple years ago, John Donnelly, who I want to say he retired on 699. And I would love to reach up near that mark. Um, so if I coach at Buchanan until I hang it up, I will die a happy man. If someday comes and some college calls and says, "Hey, we've seen your success. We want you to head up this program," I will consider it. Um, I'm kind of giving the old Jim Harbaugh answer. I'll weigh all my options. I'll play my hand close to the chest. But I think people near and dear to me know that Buchanan is where my heart is. And I have no intentions of leaving anytime soon. So as long as they will have me, I'm going to be a loyal Buck, and I'm going to bleed maroon and white. And hopefully in the next couple of years, we can find ourselves back in East Lansing.
Well, I think if he gets Jim Harbaugh money, he probably will reconsider quickly. Well,
Yeah, full roster control, new facilities. Why not?
We have a little fun thing that we wanted to do here at the end of the episode. We sent you a little something in the mail. So if you want to open that up.
I have it right here.
All right. So while you're opening,
explain what we're doing.
Yeah. So while you're opening that, I'm going to go ahead and open that. I'm going to tell Zach and my dad what's going on here. So me and Soko and James, like we mentioned earlier in the podcast, had a tradition. Every Thursday, we would all go get a box of cards and open them up, and we'd call it Terran Thursdays. So we're actually filming this on a Thursday. So we sent you a pack, and we all got a pack too, so we can all crack open a pack together to kind of end this episode. I love it,
guys. You remembered.
Yes. The tradition. Terran Thursdays. So you're the guest, man. Go ahead and open your pack first.
All right, well, I'll open my pack first. So here we go, boys.
All right.
Some Topps Series 2. Mr. Aaron Judge on the cover. You guys like Judge?
You do.
What year is that tops? 2021?
These are. Why can't I see the year? These are 23s.
23. Okay.
Oh, look at that, boys! How fitting. I'm a Tiger fan. My guy, stars of the MLB, Miguel Cabrera, right there.
Right.
There you go.
What a career for that guy. Got an All-Star Manny Machado. Got a Ryan Nelson rookie. Spencer Strider, Ramon Laureano, Mark Vientos rookie, Jared Walsh, Ryan Tepera, Logan Webb. Got a Tampa Bay Rays team picture, Minnesota Twins team picture, Zach Greinke, still doing it. Future stars Roansy Contreras, Jorge Soler, hot free agent right now. Colorado Rocky, actually, Gons, watch out for this guy, Michael Tolia, switch hitting first baseman. I like this guy. And then Freddie Peralta. So yeah, we'll take the Miggy as the highlight. I love it.
Nice, dude. That looks nice.
I'm still a big collector, Gons. My office
I
is
figured
insane.
you were, man. I mean, we used to do this.
You're gonna have to road trip down soon.
Yeah, heck yeah. We used to do this every Thursday night. We'd all get together in the off season, get a box and open a bunch of packs, and that's another good memory we have. And we got some crazy cards because the year we were doing that was was 2012. So was it 2012 or 2013? Whatever
it was
year.
both. It was both.
Yeah. One of the years it was the Harper Trout rookie year.
Yeah.
So I still have a bunch of those. I have a ton of sweet Harper rookies and Trout rookies from all the cards we got that year.
And thank you for the album, by the way.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I still have two of your other ones that you burnt for me back in the day. They are still right where I can find them, and I actually listened to one in when I was working out in my shop. I have my stereo set up out there with my CD disc changer, and I was listening to one of them this year in the summertime when I was out working in my shop. So
That's awesome,
I definitely still have the originals, man. The recording in your apartment closet. So two things. Number one, Zach, you'll love this. So a big reason why I love the game so much is my guy right here. You guys know who Junior is?
Yes.
That's the best, man. That's my one of my limited edition Ken Griffey Jr. bobbleheads. I'm a big Junior collector. He's my all-time favorite. And then the other one, I shared this with Ty the other day when we texted when he invited me on the show. So still to this day, and I have my necklace right here. I have my baseball bat cross. I tell people it's my two favorite religions, Christianity and baseball. And I've got my number 15 on here, my coveted number 15 that Gons remembers. We get to college, and Coach Villier walks us into the equipment room. He didn't care who we were, what our name was, and didn't have us in any particular order. And he gives Ty the number 15 jersey right in front of me. So I get handed number 16. And we walk out in the hallway, and I said, hey, Gons, what do you want for it? And I was going to give him the big league treatment, right? So every Wednesday, we would go to B-Dubs for wings with the guys. And Gons remembers this. I said, I'll tell you what, man. I said, if I buy your wings tonight, you trade me number 15. He says, done. So we go to B-Dubs, and we all get done eating our wings, and we're walking out to the car, heading back to the apartments. Gons looks at me. He goes, by the way, Soko, I'd have let you have it for free, man. I was like, all right. I was like, whatever, dude. I don't mind buying your dinner. And I wore that 15. I still wear it now coaching. It's always been my number.
That's great. All right, Ty, you going next?
Yeah, I'll go next. I got the same pack Soko had. Topps
Let's go,
2023.
baby.
See if I can get some
heat.
How many cards are in your pack?
16, I believe.
16.
Yeah, I saw Dad. Well, I'll let you tell the story when it's your turn to open. Oh,
I'll
here we
tell
go.
the
We saw this guy on our trip, Zach. Before you joined, we were talking about our 3 games in 24 hours.
Is that Gunner?
It's Gunner rookie.
Wow.
I saw him hit a bomb in Baltimore. So that's probably gonna be the best card I get, honestly.
He's gonna be special.
Yeah, he is. Drew Waters, rookie, Mustakis, JD Davis on the Giants, Lance Lynn, Jock Peterson. So weird Giants.
New Arizona Diamondback.
Oh, is he?
Uh-huh.
Stone Garrett, rookie. I don't even know who that guy is. Cleveland guy, Gabriel Arias. Here we go. Former Whitecap. Here you go, Zach. Suarez,
Yeah.
your boy.
Just traded him.
Did you really? Oh, and here's one for you, Dad. Casey Mize,
See my eyes. Hope he has a big comeback this year.
face of the franchise.
Well, I don't know about that anymore.
I got a
He's got an arbitration hearing coming up, doesn't he?
He won, or they settled. They settled.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, got a
I
2-year
guess.
deal.
Yeah, I hope he bounces back. Him and Scooball could be a good one too.
No question.
Then I got some of those team cards that nobody ever wants. Seattle, San Diego, a Springer. George Springer, Zach, one of your favorite players right there.
George Springer.
Eh.
And then Iggy. Jose
Nice.
Iglesias, rounding it out. So, yep, the gunner rookie, future stars of the game, or stars of the MLB. Looks like our
Nice.
packs were the same, Soko. We both started off with a nice card.
Zach, what did you get?
All right, so I got 5 packs, but there's only 4 cards each. So I'm just gonna open them all because it's 20 cards.
Whoa.
But I haven't looked, but I just opened them all. So I'll go through them fast. Stoko, I'll show you this real quick because I'm Griffey all the way, right?
Heck yeah.
I didn't even get up. It's just sitting over here. This is my binder from when I was a little kid.
Uh-huh.
And then I got all of the old 90s cards.
Oh, I
Look
love
at all
it,
that.
dude. I love it. Heck yeah. If you guys invite me back, I will show you the vault next time. My coveted trophy case in my office. It's got all my Griffey. I have that box. I have it. It's in the trophy case. The Frosted Wheaties box, man. And I have the book. It's in my office.
Got a bunch of stuff
This
here.
guy gets it.
Hang on.
We're Griffey brothers, Zach. We're Griffey brothers.
You got this one?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, here's my cards.
Love it.
Yeah. Sonny Gray, Josh Rojas, who's now a Mariner. Willie Mays insert card. Nick Lodolo, Jock Peterson. Nick Castellanos, Adam Hazley, former Charlotte Knight. Anderson Severino, another Charlotte Knight. I liked him. Reliever, throws gas. Jaron Duran, Albert Pujols. Oh, Ty.
What'd you get?
Julio Refractor.
Oh, is that numbered?
Whoa.
Is that
So it's
numbered?
not a regular, it's a rainbow refractor.
Is that numbered?
No.
Dang, that's
But like
nice.
this one's rainbow. All the other ones are just like regular.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
But
That's sweet.
it's
rookie.
the All-Star game won his first All-Star rookie card.
Dang.
Ooh.
Carlos
You're not gonna get a better
Rodon,
card than that.
Diaz, Aaron Savali, Royce Lewis, rookie. Ramos, Nelson Cruz, Jared Walsh, Austin Meadows, dad, pink version.
Wow. Right. Something might happen with him. You never know.
Adam Frazier, Josh Harrison, and look what my last card is.
Oh,
I want that one.
Torkelson?
Generation
Torkelson.
now insert Spencer Torkelson
Gonna have
blue.
Nice. He's gonna have a big year this
Monster.
year. Yeah.
he might.
Yeah, monster. John, do you like the
Big year
Colt
this year.
Keith signing?
I do. I think it's. I watched the whole press conference, and I'm still on the press releases from the Tigers, so I get all the stuff that the Tigers beat writers get. And the press conference, he was just so impressive. What a great young man, and extremely talented. I don't know I don't know where his career is going to end up, but certainly the Tigers expect him to be a cornerstone for a long time. What are you showing off, Zach?
His Julio.
Hi, Julio.
That's
That's the
nice.
only rainbow in the whole pack.
That's a nice card.
So David, these guys were hounding me for like the last week that we knew you were coming, and Ty wanted to do this baseball card thing, and I'm like, Ty's like, you better go get some cards. I'm like, I will. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So today, like, did you get your cards? I'm like, no, but I'll go today. So I had an appointment not far from this card shop. I've only been in one time, and it was really quick. I walked in and walked out, and just because I didn't have a lot of time to check things out. But I walk in there today, and I just say, hey, I just need a pack of cards. I don't care which one it is, you know. And they're like going, what? I said, well, we have this podcast with my sons. So I started telling them the whole story, right? I'm at Johnny Ford's Sports Cards and Memorabilia. It's off of Plainfield Avenue in Grand Rapids. And I'm there for like I said, for real the first time. And nice guys, there's a customer there. And they're like, well, we have this. And I'm like, I don't know, give me that jumbo pack. It was like $18. I don't even know. It's this one right here, this Topps Update 2023.
Yep. All right.
So
A lot of
I
rookies
said,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah. And I said, yeah, just give me that. They're like, sure, no problem. So I get out some money to pay, and the owner's like, stop. He goes, what's his name here? It's Timothy Hank, the owner. And he's like, stop. He goes, I love the idea of your podcast. I love this concept of a dad and his sons doing a podcast. He goes, they're on the house. They're all yours. Just take the cards with you and have fun opening them tonight. He says,
Wow.
he goes, I hope you get a banger in there.
I
Yeah, when you
And I
said
said,
that,
hope so too.
what's that
when you
time?
said when you said that picture, I'm like, what the heck pack did you get? And then I looked it up. Those packs only come in those jumbo boxes, and there's like 10 packs in those, and it was like $200 boxes. I'm like,
Yeah.
what kind of pack did you get? That's like a $20 pack.
So like, I'll take that one. But anyway, nice guy. And I think the point I wanted to tell about that story is like, yeah, it was nice to get some free cards. But the most important part about that is that you could see like his other card shop people were like listening to the story and listening to us talk about baseball. And there was a customer there. He was all like listening, and I forget a lot of times about how this is different and how this podcast came to be, and people are really interested in it. So it was nice just have them kind of like that is really cool, right? In fact, they wanted to know the name of the podcast, and they found in the shop they found the video of our three ballparks in 24 hours. You know, they're all excited. Hey, we can't wait to watch this video. You know,
Oh,
so it was pretty cool. So thank
That's kind
you
of like,
to what's that, Ty?
I was gonna say, that was kind of like when we went on the trip and wore the shirts.
Yeah,
Everyone was stopping us. Oh yeah, there it is.
yeah. Zach, show them the shirt there, Zach.
yep. And it's got
There it
the
is.
the cities on the back.
Yeah,
In SoCo, we went to well, you might have watched the video, but we went to the museum, the Babe Ruth Museum, and all the people in there are baseball people, right? You don't go to the Babe Ruth
Right.
Museum if you're not a baseball person, and they're all reading our shirts and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like how do we find it? Oh, I found it. This is so cool." And they're like following us and stuff. That was pretty neat.
it was a lot of fun.
That's amazing.
All right.
I got to get one of those shirts.
Yeah,
Limited edition, yeah. All right. So again, thank you to Johnny Ford, Sports Cards and Memorabilia, located on Plainfield Avenue, Grand Rapids. Timothy Hank, the owner. Thanks for supporting Big League Dreaming, the podcast. All right, here we go, Zach. First one. Oh, it's a Mariner. Somebody by the name of Cooper Hummel.
Yeah, they got Cooper
Cooper
Hummel
Hummel.
in a trade. I think they did a small trade for him. He was supposed to be the backup catcher, and then he played like maybe 10 games, and they sent him back
Yeah.
down to Tacoma, and he's not on the team anymore.
So,
Yeah.
at least he started with the Mariners. Thaddeus Ward, Jordan Walker,
Jordan Walker, good one.
Eduardo Julian, the Twins, Zach Neto from the Angels, Reese McGuire, Red Sox, Brad Hand, Rockies, Joey Ortiz, Tyler Anderson. Hey, Ty, there's a tie there. Joey Wendell from the Marlins. So far, nothing exciting. Luis Medina, Oakland. JP Spears, Oakland. Jose Cuellas, Kansas City. Marlins prospects, nothing really crazy here. Um, Tatis Machado, Goldschmidt. Okay. Oh, here's the Tigers. This is Michael Pirsky and Cody Sedlock. Don't know who those guys are. Guess I have to do some research there.
Never seen them.
Rookie combo, yeah. Ryan Lettner. All right. Oh, okay. I saw something shiny. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
Couple of shinies. This is William Contreras.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah,
That's a
Nice
nice
one.
card.
that's that's the
And
rainbow foil like my Julio.
rookie card Andrew Monasterio.
Oh,
He's good
yeah.
too.
He hit the walk-off.
Is that the gold that's numbered to 2023 on the back?
Yeah, this is gold number to 2023. Yeah, this is 1001
Nice.
out
Numbered.
of 2023. Action
Nice.
stars Jordan Alvarez.
The Mariner killer himself.
Alexis Diaz. Oh, hey, how about this? The Carlton Fisk 35th anniversary card from the White Sox.
We got to
Good
get
fit.
Fisk on the show, Dad.
We got to get Fisk on the show. I know we've been slouching on that one. NATO again. Let's see. Casey Spacey Spencer Turnbull. Bly Madras. Riley Adams. I think that's about it. Nothing really. Bettencourt. Oh, Ty. Brett Batty did not. How did he? He didn't really pan out, did he?
There's still time.
There's still time for him.
Yeah, he was decent. He was all right.
Decent enough.
Decent enough for a Met. All you gotta do is hit 219.
Jake Rogers from the Tigers. Nice little Clayton Kershaw photo. Third Dodger pitcher to reach a milestone, his 200th win. You get the 200 wins, David, or you'll get the 200 wins, David, next year. How about that?
Got to play a lot of games.
Yeah. So that was about it. Just a couple nice ones, but still decent cards.
Yeah, you got it numbered.
Yeah, kind of numbered. Love that.
Yeah, Zach, you
That's
mentioned
my
that
pick.
Babe Ruth Museum. You mentioned that Babe Ruth Museum. If you guys want to make a road trip, quick shout out to the biggest little baseball museum located in Three Oaks, Michigan. It's at the second level of the Three Oaks Library. It's a one-stop like town, and it was founded by a guy from Three Oaks named Gary Lang. He's the former elementary principal there, and he is a baseball diehard, and it's a big room, and all the way 360 degrees around this room are gloves and bats from every era, cards from every era, history books. He's had former major league players come there and talk to the public. It's really, really cool. You guys should check it out sometime. It's not too far of a drive. I mean, you're in North Carolina, right? You in South Carolina?
I'm in North Carolina, yeah.
North Carolina. Yeah, so if you ever come home, check that out. And John and Ty, if you guys make a road trip down one day, I'll go over there with you. But yeah, between that and then I'm also, don't be fooled, I still play, Gons. I'm actually the president of the Michiana Adult Baseball League in Niles, Michigan, right next to Buchanan. I actually live in Niles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm still doing it. I was the MVP of the league 2 years ago. We got 12 teams, over 250 players in our league. We had a league meeting tonight, actually, before I got on the podcast. So,
wow.
Yeah, I never stop, man. Baseball is life. And I'm married to a diehard Chicago Cub fan. So there you go.
Go Cubbies.
Right. Cubs
Go
and
Cubs,
Tigers in the
man. I
World
don't have a
Series.
choice.
I love it.
There you go.
All right. Well, David, thank you so much for joining the podcast. We really appreciate you being on it. And Ty or Zach or Zach, do you guys want anything to wrap things up before we send it off to Ty again?
No, I just want to say thanks, Soko. Good chatting with you. Appreciate taking the time. It was fun.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much, man. What you guys are doing is awesome, and I really hope to be on the show again because this was a lot of fun. There's not enough time in the day to talk baseball with you guys.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If it's your first time coming across our podcast, you can follow us on Twitter at BLD Pod. That's at BLDPOD. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Big League Dreaming the Podcast, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to be on the show or a future episode, reach out to us, Big League Dreaming the Podcast at gmail.com. We'll see you on the next one.